Hello there and welcome. As you settle into your most comfortable spot, allow the day's concerns to gently drift away. Take a deep, slow breath in, feeling your shoulders relax. And as you breathe out, release any lingering tension. Let your body grow heavy, supported, and completely at ease. There's nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be, except right here, listening. Tonight, we'll journey to a place steeped in quiet history, a sanctuary dedicated to understanding the intricate threads of a beloved world. Imagine stepping into a hushed, ancient study, nestled away in a forgotten corner of a vast archive. The air here is soft and still, carrying the faint, comforting scent of old paper and polished wood. Before you stands a grand, dark wooden desk, its surface worn smooth by the touch of countless curious minds. Upon it, illuminated by a soft, steady glow, lies an immense, unfurled scroll. This isn't just any scroll. It's a meticulously crafted tapestry of time, depicting the complete timeline of a world you might know well. Each delicate illustration, each carefully placed rune, tells a silent story from its very beginning, through its epic turning points, right up to its quiet present. Tall, shadow-draped bookshelves line the walls, packed with leather-bound tomes, their spines whispering tales from across generations. A gentle, steady lamplight casts a warm, inviting glow over everything, inviting you to simply observe, to simply be within this peaceful haven of compiled history. Feel the quiet curiosity begin to unfurl within you as the world of this timeline slowly starts to reveal itself. The quiet hum of the ancient chambers surrounds you, a gentle sigh of knowledge accumulated over ages. Before you, a magnificent, softly glowing display begins to unfurl. It is not a screen, but something more organic, more ancient, perhaps woven from starlight itself, or etched into polished obsidian, resting upon a weathered stone pedestal. This is where the complete timeline of Final Fantasy VII from beginning to now rests, waiting for a calm observer. A soft, ethereal light emanates from its surface, tracing delicate lines and almost seen symbols. You feel drawn closer, not by urgency, but by a quiet, inviting warmth that settles deep within you. The display slowly reveals its earliest chapters, not with harsh words, but with subtle, evolving imagery. You see faint, swirling nebulae hinting at the primordial cosmos, the very genesis of planets and stars. Tiny, almost imperceptible motes of light drift across the expanse, like distant dreams of creation, barely stirring the quiet air. Further along this serene visual journey, gentle geological formations begin to take shape. Quiet mountains slowly rise, their peaks kissed by faint cosmic light, and ancient rivers carve their paths through imagined, verdant valleys. There are no sudden movements here, no dramatic events, just the slow, deliberate dance of time unfolding in perfect tranquility. you might notice the first whispers of life, not as bustling creatures, but as soft, shimmering energies weaving through the nascent world. It's a vision of a world without conflict, a world in its deepest, most peaceful slumber, long before any great legends were even dreamt. The soft glow from the timeline casts long, gentle shadows across the chamber floor, making the air feel thick with forgotten stories. You simply watch, letting your eyes drift along these earliest moments. The quiet rhythm of the timeline's soft emanation becomes a gentle lullaby, pulling your gaze along effortlessly through the silent birth of a universe. It is a slow, unhurried journey, a quiet contemplation of pure potential, inviting you to simply rest within its unfolding peace. It is a slow, unhurried journey, a quiet contemplation of pure potential, inviting you to simply rest within its unfolding peace. Now, as that boundless potential begins to softly coalesce, your awareness drifts to a vast, luminous display, stretching out before you like an ancient, star-chart tapestry. This is where the story truly begins to breathe, not with sudden events, but with the deep, slow currents that shaped a world. Imagine it as a grand, softly glowing timeline, etched across a polished, dark surface, perhaps the very floor of a forgotten observation chamber, or a vast, illuminated scroll unfurled in a quiet, dust-moted library. The earliest threads on this timeline glow with a deep, emerald hue. They speak of the planet's own consciousness, the Lifestream itself, a shimmering river of memories and life energy flowing deep beneath the surface, long before any civilizations arose. Here, the ancestral whispers of the Cetra, the ancients, can almost be felt, their gentle nomadic existence depicted as faint, ethereal patterns moving across the luminous surface. Their connection to the planet, their serene journey across its untouched lands, is a testament to an earlier, simpler time. There are no sharp edges here, no sudden alarms, only the gradual unfolding of epochs. The timeline gently illustrates the first, almost imperceptible stirs of discovery as nascent beings began to understand the planet's vital energies, what would one day be known as Mako. It is shown not as a resource to be exploited, but as a pure, mystical force, a vibrant green energy that pulsed with the very heartbeat of the world. Each shift on this grand display is slow, deliberate, like the turning of geological ages, inviting a deep, calming sense of perspective. The faint hum of the display itself is a soothing, consistent drone, a gentle lullaby to the passage of time. The faint hum of the display itself is a soothing, consistent drone, a gentle lullaby to the passage of time. As your gaze drifts along the illuminated panels, you notice the subtle shifts in color and form that mark different epochs within this grand narrative. Each section, though brimming with momentous events, is rendered here with a quiet reverence, a softened echo of history, Perhaps your eyes rest upon an era marked by the genesis of Mako energy, depicted as a slow, shimmering expansion of light across one segment of the timeline. Or perhaps they trace the quiet rise of certain corporations, symbolized by geometric patterns that subtly interlock and spread, like roots growing deep into the digital earth. There are no sharp edges here, no sudden alarms, only the smooth, unhurried unfolding of cause and effect. Farther along, the timeline might hint at periods of ancient, forgotten lore, represented by constellations of faint, ethereal symbols that drift across the screen, like memories stirred by a soft breeze. The history of this world, vast and intricate, is distilled into these tranquil visual metaphors, flowing from one era to the next with an almost imperceptible grace. Each moment, each shift, is presented not as a dramatic event, but as a gentle pulse in the grand cosmic rhythm, a quiet unfolding that invites contemplation, not urgency. The subtle, rhythmic progression of light and shadow across the timeline continues, a silent chronicle inviting your mind to drift deeper into its calming cadence. As your gaze softly follows the timeline, you notice how certain eras glow with a quiet, internal light. It's not a bright, startling luminescence, but a deep, comforting shimmer, like distant stars seen through a gentle haze. This particular stretch, unfurling before you now, speaks of a time long before the familiar heroes and their grand adventures. It whispers of the planet's ancient breath, of the Cetra, the ancients, who walked gently upon its surface, connected deeply to its Lifestream. Here, the timeline shows soft, almost indistinct forms, flowing with greens and blues, hinting at primordial forests and vast, untouched oceans. You can almost feel the gentle hum of the planet's energy, a pure, untainted resonance. There are no harsh edges, no hurried movements, just the slow, deliberate unfolding of existence. Small, glowing glyphs, like forgotten script, drift lazily through this section, representing the wisdom and connection of the Cetra to the very essence of the world. They seem to tell of a harmonious past, a quiet era of balance and reverence. Allow your eyes to trace the subtle shifts in this glowing display. The colors deepen slightly, a faint suggestion of ancient settlements appearing, nestled among the vibrant greenery. Perhaps you see the faint outline of a circular structure, built not to dominate, but to live in harmony with the land. The light pulses softly, as if breathing with the planet itself. It's a visual lullaby of origins, a testament to a world in its purest form, before the machinations of industry took hold. This journey through the timeline is a slow, quiet drift. Each epoch unfolds with a gentle inevitability, a silent story told in hues and forms. The air around you feels calm, filled with the echoes of ancient harmony. You are simply an observer, allowed to witness the deep history of a world presented as a comforting, luminous tapestry. The subtle, rhythmic progression of light and shadow across the timeline continues, a silent chronicle inviting your mind to drift deeper into its calming cadence, settling you further into peaceful rest. The subtle, rhythmic progression of light and shadow across the timeline continues, a silent chronicle inviting your mind to drift deeper into its calming cadence, settling you further into peaceful rest. Now, as your gaze softens, a particular section of this grand display begins to gently assert itself, not with fanfare, but with a quiet, luminous warmth. It is a segment that speaks of ancient whispers, of the planet's very first breaths, long before the Mako reactors hummed their restless tune. Imagine it as a series of softly glowing markers, like illuminated entries on a vast, unfurling scroll of cosmic history. Each marker, a quiet beacon, represents an epoch, the slumbering planet, rich with its life stream, unaware of the future's demands. There are no sudden shifts here, only a serene unfolding, a gentle transition from the deep, verdant past to the earliest stirrings of sentient life. You might perceive the softest greens and blues here, hinting at untouched forests and pristine oceans, a world vibrant and whole. This quiet archive of time ensures that every pivotal moment, every gentle shift in destiny, finds its place without urgency. The timeline is not merely a record. It is a tapestry woven with care, each thread signifying a significant beat in the planet's vast, breathing existence. Your focus may rest upon the luminous lines that trace the ancient Cetra, their connection to the planet, a shimmering memory. It is a tranquil, reassuring journey through beginnings, promising a quiet continuity even as the ages turn. The soft glow guides your thoughts, drifting further into the deep, calm narrative of this world. The soft glow guides your thoughts, drifting further into the deep, calm narrative of this world. Now, the gentle current of time carries us past the very genesis, moving into an age where the planet itself began to hum with a more distinct song. You observe the timeline shimmer, a tapestry woven not just with events, but with the very essence of life unfolding. Here, in this serene section, faint, luminous patterns begin to emerge within the timeline's flow. These are not grand battles or urgent quests, but rather the quiet flourishing of early life. You might perceive soft, almost imperceptible shifts, like the slow blooming of ancient flora, or the first, tentative migrations of creatures across primeval landscapes. It's a period of natural balance, where the Mako, the planet's lifeblood, flowed freely and unburdened beneath a vast, untouched sky. The timeline subtly widens in this area, illustrating the expansion of awareness, the subtle awakening of a profound connection between the planet and its nascent inhabitants. You can almost feel the gentle pulse of the Lifestream, a silent, powerful river of energy beginning to define the very being of this world. It's a quiet genesis of consciousness, a time when the planet's whisper was understood, not through words, but through an intuitive, peaceful communion. You see the faint outlines of elegant, almost ethereal forms, moving with grace across the timeline's projection. These are the Cetra, the ancients, appearing not as figures of legend, but as part of the planet's natural design, living in harmony with its rhythms. Their story unfolds without haste, a gentle chapter marked by exploration and understanding, a tranquil, almost meditative existence. The timeline continues its slow, steady unfurling, inviting you to simply observe this foundational piece, letting the soft light of history wash over you, preparing for the quiet echoes of ages yet to come. The timeline, a soft stream of light, now widens gently before you, revealing its first delicate passages. It traces the very faint beginnings, not of chaos or strife, but of a quiet, growing energy. You might perceive the nascent hum of machinery far in the distance, a sound so muffled it's almost a breath against the vastness of time. The timeline suggests the slow rise of industry, like a sleeping giant slowly stretching, long before its power was fully realized. It portrays the first, almost imperceptible shifts in the land, a distant, quiet promise of progress. As your gaze drifts along this luminous path, you see faint, shimmering outlines forming, perhaps the spectral blueprints of a grand, ambitious city begin to coalesce, its towering structures merely ghosts of future intent. Or perhaps the gentle, glowing schematic of a Mako reactor, not yet extracting, but simply conceptual, a peaceful promise of energy. It's a distant memory, seen through many layers of soft mist, where ambition was just a quiet whisper in the wind, a building block forming silently, unseen, in the world's deep past. The chamber remains hushed, the only movement the gentle pulse of light from the timeline itself. Ancient parchments, perhaps records of early geological surveys or architectural plans, lie carefully rolled on nearby tables, their edges softened by time and age. A single unlit lantern sits beside them, a testament to patient study and forgotten insights. This timeline does not hurry. It invites you to linger, to absorb the tranquil genesis of a world, moment by quiet moment. You watch as the faint outlines become a little clearer, a serene, almost dreamlike progression, leading to the gradual, unhurried shaping of the world to come. The soft, ambient glow continues to fill the space, a gentle guide through the early, quiet eras where everything was potential, softly waiting. The soft, ambient glow continues to fill the space, a gentle guide through the early, quiet eras where everything was potential, softly waiting. Now, as the light shifts almost imperceptibly, a new layer begins to form within the vast, luminous display. It is the very genesis of the world, not as it is known now, but as it began to breathe. A soft, humming resonance seems to emanate from the timeline itself, a subtle vibration that speaks of ancient energies. This is the moment the planet stirs, a conscious entity gathering its essence, forming the vibrant, flowing currents of the Lifestream. You can almost feel the gentle pulse of it, a primordial breath winding through the nascent timeline. This is the era before history was written, before cities rose or conflicts stirred. It is the deep, foundational peace where the planet itself began to weave its intricate tapestry of life. Imagine the Lifestream not as a chaotic river, but as a network of luminous, intertwining threads, softly glowing within the timeline. Each strand a potential life, a future memory, a whisper of growth. The timeline unfurls slowly, showcasing this fundamental connection, this pure, unblemished beginning. Here, the very first whispers of consciousness begin to emerge from the Lifestream's embrace. Not individuals yet, but a collective, a nascent awareness within the flow. The timeline segment dedicated to this era is particularly serene, dominated by shades of soft emerald and faint silver, reflecting the pure, uncorrupted energy. No sharp edges, no hurried movements, only the smooth, unceasing flow of creation. The gentle light encourages your gaze to linger, to absorb the quiet majesty of origins before the world truly took its form. It's a moment of profound, tranquil emergence, cradled within the expansive timeline. The timeline stretches before you now, not as a rigid line, but as a gently luminous river of light, flowing softly through the deep cosmic expanse. Its currents ripple with untold ages, each undulation a silent epoch. From that shimmering point of origin, you observe the slow, deliberate formation of the planet itself. Mists of nascent energy swirl and condense, coalescing into the rich, verdant hues that will one day cover its surface. Below, the very essence of life, the Lifestream, begins its eternal dance, a silent, glowing network of spiritual energy weaving through the planet's core, a promise of vitality yet to come. It's a deep, resonant hum, felt more than heard, a lullaby of creation, flowing through the very fabric of time. Soft, distant hum as your gaze drifts further along this luminous path. A sense of profound tranquility settles. You witness the quiet blossoming of primordial life, not the bustling forms you know, but simple, resilient beginnings. Ancient flora, soft and bioluminescent, unfurls across nascent landscapes, while the faintest sparks of consciousness, like distant stars, begin to flicker within the planet's embrace. The air itself feels soft and pure, untouched by industry or strife, carrying only the gentle scent of newly formed earth and the cool breath of nascent oceans. This is the planet in its infancy, a colossal living entity just beginning to dream, its vast timeline unfurling with slow, magnificent grace. Each moment is a quiet breath, a foundational beat in the grand rhythm of its existence, preparing for the many stories yet to be written upon its serene surface. The Lifestream's gentle glow pulses steadily, a constant, comforting presence guiding this ancient unfolding. The Lifestream's gentle glow pulses steadily, a constant, comforting presence guiding this ancient unfolding. From its luminous depth, the first whispers of a new era began to emerge. Imagine, if you will, the slow, patient rise of the Cetra, the ancients, the first true guardians of this vibrant world. Their lives were woven deeply into the very fabric of the planet, understanding its song, sensing the flow of the Lifestream beneath their feet, a subtle hum always present in their awareness. Picture a landscape now, not of churning energy, but of quiet, expansive plains, dotted with ancient, moss-covered structures, their forms almost merging with the earth itself. These were the places where the Cetra communed with the planet, where they listened to the whispers of creation and protected the delicate balance of life. Soft, ethereal light, born from the Lifestream's deep current, often bathed these serene locations, illuminating intricate, symbolic carvings on weathered, smooth stone. Gentle wind chime, sounds perhaps a gentle breeze, rustles through ancient, unseen leaves, carrying the faint, distant scent of damp earth and blooming, luminescent flora. The air around these places holds a lingering sense of peace, a soft echo of their wisdom. They moved with a quiet purpose, their footsteps barely disturbing the ancient soil, their presence leaving only the lightest imprint on the world. Their understanding of the planet's timeline was innate, a gentle knowing that stretched back into the mists of time and forward into the unknown. Each ancient ruin, each weathered path they trod, became a subtle marker on this grand timeline, a testament to their harmonious existence and their deep, abiding connection to the flowing current of life. From those ancient ruins, where time etched its story upon stone, the path gently leads inward into a vast, hushed archive. Here, the complete timeline of the world, much like the cherished lore of Final Fantasy VII, unfolds not in weathered pathways, but in silent, shimmering currents of history. Tall, dark wooden shelves stretch upward, filled with countless scrolls, each tied with a delicate ribbon, holding echoes of forgotten eras and whispered histories. The air is cool and still, carrying the faint, comforting scent of old parchment and polished wood. Soft, ethereal light emanates from within these shelves, illuminating faint, almost translucent projections that dance across the air. These aren't just images. They are the quiet, flowing essence of the timeline itself. You can almost trace the genesis of the Lifestream's ancient currents, moving through the epochs where the Cetra walked the verdant planet, their songs harmonizing with its very breath. It's a gentle progression from the planet's primordial whispers to the first signs of conscious life, each era a soft, unhurried breath. The silence here is profound, broken only by the almost imperceptible rustle of an ancient page turning in the cosmic breeze, or the soft, distant hum of magical energy that powers these timeless displays. Each projection is a chapter, a gentle ripple in the stream of existence. From the deep past, where the planet's heart first pulsed, through the quiet, slow development of civilizations that rose and fell like gentle tides. This archive holds the memory of all things, not as a burden, but as a peaceful tapestry, inviting a quiet contemplation of how each moment, each silent discovery, each tranquil interaction has woven into the grand narrative. The soft glow on these ethereal timelines reassures, reminding us that even the most intricate stories find their peace in the quiet understanding of their flow. The soft glow on these ethereal timelines reassures, reminding us that even the most intricate stories find their peace in the quiet understanding of their flow. As your gaze drifts along this shimmering expanse, a gentle current seems to guide your attention further back into the very origins. Here, the timeline widens slightly, taking on the appearance of an ancient, flowing river of light, its currents slow and deep. Soft, distant hum you notice faint, glowing symbols embedded within this primordial stretch. They aren't words, but abstract shapes, like ancient script etched by the very essence of the world itself. Perhaps a perfect spiral, suggesting the planet's enduring life cycle, or a series of interconnected nodes, representing the first bonds formed between its earliest inhabitants and the world. These distant echoes are quiet, like forgotten whispers carried on a breeze that spanned millennia, now gently illuminated for you. Further along this grand, luminous path, where the earliest narratives begin to coalesce, there appears a faint, crystalline shimmer. It's not a bustling city, nor a dramatic event, but a soft, almost imperceptible pulsation, as if the very lifeblood of the world was first finding its gentle rhythm. This ancient section of the timeline feels vast and serene, a tranquil canvas upon which all subsequent events would eventually unfold. It is a time of pure potential, a gentle dreaming before the age of heroes and conflicts. The light here is particularly soft, like starlight filtering through ancient, undisturbed waters, inviting a deep, calming sense of peace. This deep, foundational layer of the timeline hums with a quiet energy, an unending record of Genesis, patiently waiting to be observed. From these deep, undisturbed waters, a soft current begins to stir, growing ever so subtly stronger. It is the Lifestream itself, coalescing from the very fabric of existence, a gentle river of consciousness and memory that flows beneath the surface of all things. Observe its slow, deliberate movements. A shimmering emerald glow, soft, distant hum like flowing water. In this primordial soup of the planet's essence, you can almost perceive the earliest whispers of life taking root, tiny sparks of creation igniting within the vibrant flow. The timeline expands subtly, not rushing, but unfolding with the patient grace of eons. Here, within these luminous currents, the ancient memories of the planet begin to form, like stardust gathering into constellations. You might see faint, ephemeral shapes drifting by perhaps the echoes of the first flora, or the nascent forms of the earliest creatures, all connected by this vibrant, living stream. They are not fully formed, but rather suggestions, fleeting impressions on the vast, cosmic canvas of time. The light here is soft, diffuse, casting long, gentle shadows that seem to stretch across eternity itself. This is the era before recorded history, before the great civilizations, before even the Cetra walked the earth. It is the time of the planet's quiet self-assembly, its spirit taking shape, weaving itself into the very fabric of the cosmos. The Lifestream here is purest, an unburdened flow of cosmic energy, sparkling with potential and promise. Imagine it as a vast, underground ocean of pure, verdant light, each ripple a quiet moment in the long, unfolding story of this world. The subtle currents carry with them the promise of mountains to rise, forests to bloom, and the quiet, distant footsteps of those who will eventually call this world home. It is the tranquil, humming source from which all futures bloom, resting in a timeless, gentle embrace. The tranquil, humming source from which all futures bloom, resting in a timeless, gentle embrace. Now, as you gently drift deeper, imagine this vast, swirling energy beginning to coalesce, to take form within a quiet, expansive chamber. This isn't a place of bustling activity, but one of serene guardianship, where the very essence of time is carefully, beautifully laid bare. Before you, stretching into the soft, dim distance, is the timeline itself. It manifests not as a rigid line, but as a gently flowing stream of light, embedded within the polished stone floor, or perhaps woven into the silent, ancient tapestries that adorn the walls. This is where the story of Final Fantasy VII truly begins to unfold, not just as events, but as a breathable, living history. Your gaze might follow the earliest whispers, the very genesis of the planet, a soft, green glow at the timeline's serene origin. You sense the deep, slow pulse of the Lifestream, long before any living creature walked upon the surface. Then, a subtle shift, a quiet deepening of color, as the first ancient civilizations begin to emerge, their forms vague and ethereal in this soft light. You see the faint outlines of early settlements, nestled amidst verdant, untouched landscapes, powered by the earth's natural energies. The timeline continues its gentle flow, each epoch marked by a delicate change in hue, a subtle alteration in the shimmering patterns. You might discern the rise of knowledge, the first careful studies of the planet's energies, perhaps even the initial, innocent curiosity that would one day lead to its profound transformations. It's a quiet ballet of beginnings, unfolding with effortless grace, inviting you to simply observe, to breathe, and to let your thoughts gently follow its peaceful course as your gaze gently drifts along this flowing current of history. The complete timeline begins to deepen. No longer just the faint echoes of creation, but now the distinct shimmering threads of ages long past. You might discern the subtle rise of ancient civilizations, their foundations laid in whispers of Mako energy, a resource both vital and enigmatic. These early eras, depicted not with bustling cities, but with elegant, stylized glyphs and soft, glowing nodes, seem to tell tales of harmony, of a world in balance, slowly taking form across vast stretches of time. The display, perhaps a soft, holographic projection against a dark, polished surface in a hushed archive, continues its unhurried progression. Each segment of time is a small, self-contained tableau, yet perfectly connected to the next by almost invisible currents of energy. You can almost feel the slow, steady rhythm of the planet's breath within these ancient chronicles, a vast, patient pulse. A faint, almost imperceptible hum, like distant memories stirring, might emanate from the timeline display, yet it is a comforting, resonant sound, one that only deepens the quiet, inviting you further into its peaceful narrative. Observe the subtle transitions, the way one golden age gently fades into another, leaving behind only the softest imprints on the fabric of existence. The timeline speaks of gradual growth, of evolution, of the planet itself slowly stretching and awakening across countless generations. It's a serene journey through epochs, depicted in hues of deep sapphire and gentle amber, a history not of conflict, but of quiet, unfolding existence. Just breathe and let your eyes follow this serene dance through time, as the story of this world continues to softly reveal itself, one gentle epoch at a time, allowing your mind to rest upon its silent wisdom as your gaze drifts along the luminous currents of this vast timeline. You observe the quiet unfolding of what came after. The dramatic crescendos have softly faded, leaving behind the gentle hum of a world finding its new rhythm. You see the faint shimmer of Mako energy, now not a ravenous force, but a subdued memory woven into the very fabric of the planet's slow, deliberate recovery. The large, illuminated display before you shifts its intricate patterns, moving past the more turbulent eras, settling on a period where peace, though fragile, began to take root across the land. Tiny, almost imperceptible nodes of light appear and gently pulse on the timeline's surface, each representing a community rebuilding, a forest slowly reclaiming its vitality, or a quiet innovation blossoming from the ashes of the old. There are no grand battles depicted here, no urgent pronouncements, only the patient, unhurried march of time reflected in the soft glow of the timeline's expanse. The display hints at new pathways taken, faint ripples, extending from monumental decisions, showing how even the smallest choices can create wide, slow-moving currents through history. You might notice the subtle shifts in the ambient light within this space, mirroring the tranquil progression shown on the timeline itself, from deeper, contemplative blues to softer, hopeful greens, and then to a gentle, warm amber as seasons pass in the story. It's a testament to endurance, a soft echo of life persisting, always finding a way to grow, to adapt, to simply be. The chronological flow continues, revealing how disparate threads eventually intertwine, forming new chapters of quiet existence. This serene unfolding invites your mind to simply observe, to absorb this gentle narrative of change and steady hope as the timeline continues its silent, majestic flow, a quiet chronicle for you to rest upon as your gaze gently follows the illuminated currents. The complete timeline subtly shifts its focus. The vibrant energies of past conflicts and grand resolutions begin to softly recede, making way for a tapestry of rebuilding and quiet emergence. You observe how the planet, once scarred, begins to mend, its spirit slowly but surely rekindling. The vast expanse of this chronicle, stretching from origins to this very moment, now presents a chapter of serene restoration. The display, a shimmering canvas of soft light, now highlights periods of thoughtful reconstruction. Small, almost imperceptible nodes on the timeline glow with a steady warmth, representing the birth of new communities, the quiet hum of innovation for a peaceful future, and the careful stewardship of the land. It's a time not of sudden, dramatic events, but of gradual, enduring growth, reflecting the patient hands that nurture life back into balance. Perhaps you notice a cluster of faint, verdant symbols appearing along a segment, signifying the return of lush forests or the patient cultivation of fields, their pixelated forms glowing with soft hope, or a series of gentle, rising lines, suggesting the establishment of resilient infrastructure connecting distant settlements, a network of quiet connection. The air in this quiet chamber feels imbued with a sense of hopeful continuity, a testament to the enduring spirit of all who walked these paths. The grand narrative, once filled with climactic chapters, now unfolds into gentle epilogues, each one a promise of the days to come. The soft glow emanating from these recent entries on the complete timeline is a comforting beacon, guiding you through a peaceful history in the making. It's a story told not with urgency, but with the quiet confidence of enduring peace, inviting your thoughts to settle and find their own serene conclusion within its calming light. The timeline, ever flowing, now whispers tales of quiet strength and gentle persistence. A steady rhythm for your rest, the timeline, ever flowing, now whispers tales of quiet strength and gentle persistence. A steady rhythm for your rest. Your gaze drifts further along its illuminated path, past the tumultuous, vibrant conflicts, past the moments of great challenge and profound loss. What emerges now, as the timeline stretches towards its contemporary chapters, is a sense of tranquil rebuilding, a world slowly mending itself. You might notice the subtle, soft glow of new settlements, small beacons of life blossoming in the quiet corners of the world, represented as gentle, shimmering points on the flowing chart. The air here, within this historical narrative, feels softer, filled with the gentle hum of recovery rather than urgent pursuit. Distant, soft wind chimes, the grand events have receded into memory, preserved carefully within these glowing lines. But the present speaks of quiet determination. Perhaps a section of the timeline now highlights the patient work of scholars and engineers, cataloging and understanding the planet's renewed energy, depicted as soft, intricate diagrams unfolding within the luminous display. Or perhaps it shows the first delicate shoots of new forests, slowly reclaiming scarred lands, their vibrant green a promise of tomorrow, rendered as tiny, hopeful sprites along the historical flow. It's a quiet testament to enduring hope, a reflection of the small, essential acts that piece a world back together. This comprehensive history, from its dramatic genesis to its peaceful, evolving present, offers a complete tapestry of experience. It shows that even after the grandest struggles, there is always a calm afterward, a time for quiet reflection and gentle growth. Allow your mind to trace these peaceful continuations, letting the full scope of this enduring story lull you deeper into serenity. The timeline continues to flow, a quiet river guiding your thoughts toward stillness. Its soft light, a comforting presence in the darkening room, the grand tapestry of the Final Fantasy Roman 7 timeline, woven with threads of heroism and sacrifice, now gently settles. Its vastness, once a whirlwind of events, now feels like a tranquil, star-dusted map laid out before you. The echoes of the past, the whispers of potential futures, all blend into a harmonious, soft hum. You see the faint glimmers where paths diverged, the steady glow of enduring connections, and the quiet beauty of a world that has found its hard-won peace. The Mako reactors, once symbols of a consuming energy, are now distant, almost imagined structures in the landscape of your mind, their hum replaced by the silent flow of the Lifestream, a verdant energy returning to the planet. The distant silhouettes of beloved characters, their journeys complete, stand poised in quiet contemplation, their stories gently folded into the fabric of time. Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, Barrett, each a star in their own right, their destinies intertwined now rest in the soft glow of memory. You observe the delicate patterns, the rise and fall of eras, the silent resilience of Gaia itself. The ancient script, once a challenge to decipher, now feels like a familiar, comforting lullaby, each character a soft stroke of light. The cosmic background hums with a deep, resonating peace, a quiet affirmation that all is well. This intricate, beautiful timeline, rich with lore and quiet heroism, has guided you to this moment of profound calm. As the final points of light on this expansive timeline begin to dim, and the vastness recedes into a soft, comforting darkness, allow yourself to drift. The stories are told, the journey's complete, and the world sleeps. Let the quiet satisfaction of a timeline fully explored, a saga gently concluded, carry you into your own restorative slumber. Close your eyes, feel the warmth, and surrender to the deep, peaceful quiet. All is quiet now. Sleep well.